Alrighty. So I want to welcome everyone to Saturday morning's basic yoga class. I'm Sandy. This is my husband, Kent, if you haven't practiced with us before. Meredith, I'm trying to remember when you were here before, if Kent was here or not. Anyway, today's class, we're going to be focusing on hips. I had a student request a class just specifically on hips. Obviously, when we work on hips, we work a little bit on shoulders and we work a little bit on hamstrings because it's all connected, right? But I want you to remember three things when it comes to hips that, depending on the student and their body, I'll hear, I need to open my hips, or I need, my hips aren't strong, and so I have a loose SI joint and I get a lot of problems in my back. Well, really when it comes to hip health, and therefore back, shoulder, and hamstring health, we need to do three things. We need to strengthen, stretch, and stabilize. Because the hips help us to stand upright when we're doing things like walking, running, even sitting, right? The muscles that make up all of our hips have to be strong enough to stabilize us. Then they have to be open enough to allow us to perform the muscular movements that we want to do. So today we'll be doing all three of those things with different poses. We'll be stretching, strengthening, and stabilizing. So no matter where your hips are, hopefully this class will speak to you and you'll walk away feeling a whole lot better when you leave class. Before I get started, I do want to do a big shout out to my husband. Here's me calling him as I'm trying to get set up. Honey, I need your help. And he just comes and very patiently sighs and takes the computer away and fixes it for me and then hands it back. And he also has been here at the studio as we're painting and doing projects and cleaning and washing curtains and doing things, doing a lot of this stuff with me behind the scenes that folks don't get to see. So I just want to make sure that he gets a nice shout out. So thank you, sweetie. All right, so to start out this morning, you will want, Helen just gave you a big clap. You will want, if you didn't hear that before we got started, some sort of a chair, a sofa, something to stabilize one leg on in one part of our sequence. It doesn't have to carry your body weight, just something to help stabilize your legs. So if you need a minute to go grab that, go do that. Otherwise, come to your variation of an easy seated position, remembering that that can be Sukhasana. It can be Siddhasana, it can be like Helen is, you can be in a Vajrasana, just whatever feels good for your hips, your hamstrings today. And then make certain that the flesh is out of the way and you're connected through the sit bones to whatever you're sitting on. If you're in a Sukhasana or a Siddhasana position, check in with the knees, because one of the first indicators of tight hips and tight back are going to be your knees are wanting to pull up and you feel like you can't get those knees down. So if your knees are pulling up, I'd like you to pull something behind you like Kent is and sit on a blanket or a bolster. And then as you rock forward to the edge of that, you'll be able to come forward on the sit bones and let the knees start to relax. Once you've gotten that nice solid base, then start to lift up through the spine and roll the shoulder blades apart. Let the eyes close, let the hands come down to your knees or your thighs, whatever is comfortable. And then with your index finger and your thumb connected, bringing us universal and self together. Eyes closed, let the breath begin to deepen. And come to that nice, easy in and out breath, letting the shoulders stay quiet while the belly expands and contracts. Yoga is one of those few places where we don't have to feel like we are always pulling our belly in, but instead we use the muscles both ways, expanding and contracting. Take a few more nice breaths here. And then while I shared with you what my intention for class was, you had an entirely different reason for stepping on your mat, most likely this morning. And so go ahead and bring that intention to mind. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Bring your thumb into your sternum, connecting the heart and the head as you gently begin to bow, honoring that intention. Your neck might be open enough that your fingertips can come up to the third eye or the forehead as the thumb connects into the sternum, bringing the head and the heart together. If not, don't worry, you can simply bring the hand back and forth between the head and the heart, honoring that intention and connecting, reminding you, stay focused. Take one more breath here with the head and the neck bowed. And with a gentle inhale, keeping the eyes closed for just a moment, lift your head up. And again, lift up through the crown of the head. With an inhale, draw the knees up towards the elbows. And then with an exhale, try to flutter those knees down towards the floor one last time. Let the eyes softly open and bring the hands down to the shins. Bring the feet out in front of you in a Baddha Konasana. We did this a few weeks ago, and this is actually a stretch that my chiropractor gave me for the low back and the hips, and I love it. It's a great one, or that a chiropractor gave me. So bring your hands in Baddha Konasana, and if that's not comfortable for you, know you're always welcome. If it helps to elevate the feet and get them up, or to elevate the butt and get it up a little higher, find your Baddha Konasana. And then bring the hands underneath the thighs. And as you breathe, press up into the legs and then resist the legs down and pull your chest forward. So hands still stay underneath the thighs as you do this. And then release the legs, and we're going to reverse that. So the hands come up on top. You're pressing down with the hands into the knees or the thighs, and then resist that with the legs, trying to lift up through the legs. Another big breath in and out here, and then release, and bring the hands back underneath. Again, as you press up with the hands, press down with the knees and pull the heart through. Press the feet into each other. Breathe in and out. Can you feel that tension in the thighs and in the low back? Good. And then release the hands and switch them on top. Press down on the knees and then press back up with the knees. You should even feel this in the triceps and the biceps right now. And then relax the legs, bring the hands underneath and draw the feet flat on the ground. Go ahead and bring the hands back behind you and lean back, bending the elbows here. And then as you press that left foot into the ground, lift the right foot up and over the knee, hooking the ankle. Now, rather than feeling like we're reading the newspaper here, I want you to flex that right foot and then begin to flex the left foot, pulling the toes up towards your face. Now, maybe you can begin to straighten the arms, lifting your heart, lifting your chest. So just lifting the heart, lifting the left leg, increase the intensity in the right hip. If that's enough, stay right here. If you'd like it to go a little deeper, as you keep pushing that right knee away from you, begin to walk the bottom in towards the left heel. Only go so far that you can keep the chest lifted and pressing the knee away. The minute you lose that integrity, back off slightly. Couple of breaths. And again, you can play with what happens if I drop the left foot, what happens if I lift it back up, just kind of play here. My apologies, I'm noticing just how dirty the bottom of my feet are. I love to walk around barefoot. And when you're ready, you can walk the hips back, take the hands back, and bend back into the elbows. If your wrists are hurting from that, just flip them around so that the fingers press away from your hips and sit that way for just a moment as you switch the legs out. So that right foot comes flat, left foot comes over. Again, you can just kind of play with that foot and then bring it into a nice flexed Tadasana foot. As you inhale, make certain that the hands flip back around, so the hands are coming towards the hips now, and then flex that right foot, bringing the left leg in closer to the chest. Start to encourage the left knee away from you, and then straighten the arms behind you, lifting your heart. And again, maybe you can walk in. Sides are going to be different, so see which side feels more open for you. And breathe. Go ahead and play with those feet, experiencing the different sensations, checking in. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then plant that right foot, walk the hips back to give you space, stretch the legs out and shake them a little bit. Now we're going to come to a nice, easy Janu Shavasana because we're just starting class. So to start, I want you to take your left leg out to the left front corner of your mat. If you're like Kent and you're seated sideways, obviously, we just want it to come out at an angle. Right foot comes up and in to the groin. Then go ahead and grasp your strap. Can you reach it? I could have cued that before, couldn't I? And then take that strap around the left foot. Now what I'd like you to focus on here, because it's not so much the hamstring stretch we want to get out of this Janu. Instead, we want the hip, right? So I want you to press your pelvis forward so that you feel your sit bones coming straight down into the ground as you press out through that left leg. And then encourage the right knee down towards the floor. You can have the right hand on the right knee. You can have the left hand holding the straps. Inhale, and as you press into that right leg, rotate over the left thigh. Then exhale and release down towards that left thigh. Keep checking in with that right knee. On this side, I have no problem. The right knee wants to lay flat. You'll see on the left side where I have a cranky left knee, does not want to do that. Now, bring your right hand over and grasp the strap with your right hand. And then take your left hand and grab inside of your strap, fingers pointed down so you're close. Then we're going to roll our shoulders, so our right shoulder stacked over our left, and try to bring that left shoulder towards the ground as we draw our chest closer to the leg. So this is a version of Pavrita or Revolved Janu Shavasana. If you know that Revolved Janu is in your wheelhouse and you want to go there, you can let go with the right arm and take it up behind you, opening that shoulder as the left arm stabilizes on the left leg, the right arm reaches out and over. Just keep making certain that you're pulling the right shoulder up, looking up to the right. And then we'll all come back, meeting, just pulling up and sitting in our Janu prep position. Beautiful. Stretch the legs out, bring them both in front of you, shake them out a little bit. And then let's see what happens when we do it the other way around. So right leg goes out slightly to the side, left leg comes up and into the groin area. And again, as I rock forward on the perineum, I can press that left knee further down. And then take the strap around that right ankle, lift up through the heart. If that left knee wants to pop up at all, go ahead and just hold the strap with the right hand and take the left hand to the knee. Lift up as you press the left knee down and stretch out through the right foot. And then as you exhale, use that leverage to twist over the right thigh and begin to bend and fold over the right thigh. Now, for some of you, if it's difficult to get up vertical so that you're folding, that I want you to focus on just lifting the chest and the heart, staying here, getting the perineum pressed down. Once you've got that, that's where you can fold at the hip and lean forward. If your head and your neck are moving and nothing else, please stay vertical. All right. Again, if you want to go for that deeper revolved stretch here, bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot, fingers pointed down, grasping the strap. Use the leverage of the two hands on the strap to start to rotate your shoulders, bringing your right elbow down by your right knee, looking up. Now perhaps the right hand can grasp both straps, and you can take that left arm up, out, over, left leg still pressing towards the floor, left arm pressing towards the right toes. Couple of breaths here. Beautiful. I'm watching you guys. You all look great. And then inhale that left arm up, coming back, take the strap off, unwind the legs, stretch them out, shake them a little bit. Beautiful. Fold those legs back in here and just come back into your easy seated position. I want you to take your left fingers out to the left side of your mat, lift your right arm up, bend the left elbow, plant that right hip and reach over to the left. Really plant that right hip down. Don't let it come up. And then inhale, switch the sides out. The right hand goes down, the left arm reaches up, bend the right elbow, reach over, plant that left hip, push that left knee towards the ground. And then inhale, stretching all the way up. Both arms come up through the center. And exhale, hands down to the heart. Bring the hands back behind you and come all the way down onto your bottom. All the way down onto your back. Hopefully you're already on your bottom. And I'm going to turn sideways here. We're going to get a little core action in earlier than we normally do. So come all the way down onto the back and bring the shins up parallel to the floor. Flex your feet here. Then lift your arms up, rotate them back behind you and feel the floor, feel the thumbs in the floor. Then bend the elbows, clasp the hands, and draw them back behind your head. Now without cranking the head, can you pull from the solar plexus area and lift the heart and the shoulders up off the floor? Again, you might stay here just trying to work the shoulders up off the floor, or with the breath, you can start to bring right knee, left elbow, left knee, right elbow. Try to get 10 on each side of these bicycles out. Remember not to crank the head. You're pressing the belly button towards the floor. Spine goes in flat. Nice. Yep, if you need a break, you just take a break. And when you have completed those 10, I'm watching, when you just come back, then lay the head and shoulders down and hold the legs up, parallel, shins parallel to the floor. Beautiful. Release the hands down by your hips. And then bring the soles of the feet down onto the ground. Bend the arms at the elbows, fingertips towards the sky. So Helen, bring your hands down by your hips. We're headed to bridge. Yeah, bring it, there you go. Beautiful. Now walk your feet in one step further closer to your hips than you put them when you just set your feet down. Press the heels into the ground, press the triceps into the ground, and then inhale and lift those hips up into the air. Beautiful. Take a breath here. And then gently exhale and draw the hips towards the floor. Inhale and lift even higher. Now, as you lift, notice your knees. And if the knees are separating and pressing out away from each other, draw those knees in. Pull the energy out from the hips through the knees. Beautiful. Exhale and drop the hips down to the ground. And then draw the knees in close to the chest. Don't grasp your shins, though. Take your arms out into either a T or a cactus, your choice. And as you squeeze those legs together, exhale and take the legs off the right side, hovering there. Press that left shoulder down. Keep trying to squeeze those legs together as you roll over. And then inhale and draw the legs back up to center. Exhale and take the legs off to the other side. As you squeeze those legs, you're hovering, you're pulling your belly button up into your spine and your spine back into the floor. And then inhale the legs back to center. Now you can grasp those shins and rock side to side, giving yourself a little low back rub here. All right, we're going to head to half happy baby from here. So holding the right knee, the left foot comes down onto the ground. Bring the right foot up over the right knee and grasp the outside of the right foot. Beautiful. Now we're working to stack the ankle over the knee. And then from here, taking a deep breath, bring the left hand over to the left hip. As you press down through that left hip, roll onto your right hip and start to draw the right knee closer to the floor. So your left hip will lift up. We're just giving it some space. We're pressing into that left hip to get a little more space here. And then inhale and draw the right leg back up. Bring the foot down to the floor. Draw the left leg up, stacking ankle over knee. And then reaching up and finding the outside of that foot. Exhale and draw the knee closer down by the rib cage or the shoulders to the outside of that. Right hand comes to the right thigh or the right hip. As you press down and out through the right hip, start to draw the left knee closer to the floor. You'll gently rock over on that left hip This actually activates a lot in my right hip as I roll and stretch here. I don't know about you guys. Couple of breaths. And then gently come back to center. Draw both knees in quickly for a full happy baby. Just letting the hips rock side to side here. And then bring the legs in close together. Cross the feet at the ankles. Holding the shins in tight. Begin to rock forward and back until you come all the way up to an easy seated position. Beautiful. Bring your hands back behind you and walk your way around towards a tabletop, but we're actually going to come to an embryo or a Balasana child's pose. So bring both the knees and the toes in close. You can have the toes tucked or flat, your choice, but I want you to be able to drop the hips so that the hips and the heels touch. So if that means tucking the toes to get the hips and the heels to touch, go for it. Then release the chest and come all the way down, finding a nice Balasana or child's pose. Giving that low back a few moments of release here. And when you inhale next, slide up, find your table. And we'll take some cat-cows. So on your next inhale, the sacrum lifts up, the belly drops down, the gaze comes forward, chest comes through. Exhale, arching the back, pressing the pelvis down and forward, lifting through the shoulders. Keep going, following your breath, exploring both the front and the back body. Do one more complete, both cat and cow. And when we are all through that rotation, we'll meet in a nice solid back, nice solid tabletop. Bringing the toes in close together, taking the knees out nice and wide this time, as wide as your mat if possible. Again, the toes can be tucked if it helps get the hips down to the heels. Otherwise, lay them flat and see if you can drop hips to heels first and then release the heart and the chest down towards the mat. Taking a couple breaths here in a restorative child's pose. And then on an inhale, pressing up so that you're cupping your fingers and your up tented fingertips, arms stretched out to a much more active pose. Pull the hips back, stretch through the fingers, and feel the spine get long here. The belly can drop down in between the legs. Again, you don't have to worry about pulling that belly in here. We're just stretching through this child's pose, getting a lot of length. And on your next inhale, come all the way up through your table. Take the knees back a couple of inches, tuck those toes, lift the hips, and find your first down dog in class this morning. Go ahead and walk this dog out, bending one knee, straightening the other leg, breathing deeply and rhythmically here. Beautiful. One more breath in and out. Checking your foundation, hands pressing the mat away, shoulders drawing towards the hips, press the hips up in the air. Now bend the knees, bring the shins parallel to the mat. Keep the shins parallel, lift those sit bones, pressing them towards the sky, and then keeping that back action, press the legs straight, dropping the heels to the floor. Look to the front of your mat and make your way up, finding your forward fold. We'll meet there. Remember, keep a nice big bend in those knees if your legs aren't all the way awake yet. Press evenly down through all four corners of the feet. Inhale and come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale and fold. Bring your hands to your hips, pull your elbows together. Inhale, rise all the way up. And bring the hands down to the heart center. Shake it all out. If you need a drink, grab one. Otherwise, we're going to head through a sun A and then a sun B to complete our warm-up. It's funny, I wasn't sure if it was too soon for a drink, but I see people stopping and taking them, so I guess not. And when you come back to your mat, make certain that your feet are hip distance apart. Find all four corners of those feet. Pada, Bandha. And then draw the feet in short, lift the toes up, feel the muscles in the legs engaged. Keep all that going as you drop the toes one at a time down onto your mat. Draw the shins in, pull the thighs apart. Engage the glutes. Now think about your hip bones here. As you engage the glutes, your pelvis moves forward. Engage the abdominals and you feel the hip points start to draw in. Roll the shoulders down and apart. Let the arms roll out. Press up through the crown of the head. Take a nice big breath in. Inhale, sweep the eyes and the arms up. And as you exhale, forward fold, floating down. Inhale, halfway up for Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Plant your hands and step or hop to your variation of plank. Take a breath in this plank and then shifting so that your shoulders are over your wrists. Exhale, chaturanga. Can you hover? And then come all the way down. Stretch through the legs. Now feel the hip points press into the ground and the knees rise up. Inhale, press up and back, finding your little baby cobra. Come all the way down, tuck your toes, press through a table on this one, and then exhale, lift your hips and find your down dog. Don't worry, we'll ramp it up. Take a couple breaths here in this down dog. And then when you're ready, behind the inhale, look forward, bending your knees, and behind the exhale, step or hop up to your forward fold. Inhaling halfway when you arrive, exhaling and folding. Inhale, sweep eyes and arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. There's our Sun A. Drop your hands down, finding the floor. Drop the hips. We're heading into a Sun B. So we start with the chair pose here. Squeeze those legs energetically and lift the arms up, finding your chair pose. Again, we're pulling from the solar plexus here and lifting up. Take a breath in and out. And then on an exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. Step back, finding your plank. Take the vinyasa, pulling through to either baby cobra or up dog. And then exhale, pressing back, finding down dog. Take 2 breaths. In a Sun B, we head to warrior one next. So lift the right leg up, stretching that hip flexor, bend the knee, and then bring the foot in between your hands. Once you're here, drop your gaze, take a breath in your runner's lunge. And then bearing the weight on the right foot, lift the left foot up, take it out to the side and plant the foot with the toes pointed towards the front left corner of your mat. Keep that big bend in your right knee and inhale up, finding warrior one. Exhale your hands down to your hips and check in. My right hand is in front of my left in space. For most of us, that's the way it will be. So pull that right hip back and bring the left hip forward until your hands are in the same plane in space. And then inhale back up. And exhale the hands back behind you, clasping the hands, roll the shoulders open, lift the heart. Now you're welcome to stay here, pressing that left heel down into the ground, keeping the nice big bend in that right knee, and squeezing the hip points together. Or exhale and come to humble warrior. You can drop the right shoulder to the right knee, or you can drop the right shoulder in between the feet and rotate the arms up towards the sky. Crown of the head drops towards the floor. Right heel presses into the ground. Right hip presses towards the left foot. Bring your hands down to your mat to the inside of your right foot. Shimmy that left foot back long. I tricked you into lizard. All right, John's not looking up because he's gonna give me a dirty look, okay? Walk your right foot, Elisa's sticking her tongue out. Walk your right foot off your mat and take it out to a 45-degree angle. Keep pressing through that back or left heel and breathe. Now, if you'd like to stay here, and this is good enough, this is where you want your lizard today, stay here. If you'd like to go deeper, then drop that left knee down and lay the left foot flat. Now, before we go all the way down to the ground, shift your weight. Take your left arm slightly further out to the left and shift your weight onto that left arm. So Meredith, you've got your left leg forward. So it'll be opposite for you, okay, hon? And then bring your right hand to the inside of your right knee. You got it? If you've got your fingers going towards your right knee, now you'll be able to press into the leg and stack the shoulders, take your gaze up to the right. You can perhaps come all the way out onto the knife edge of the right foot, tuck the left toes, and lift that left knee up. If you want to stay knee down, stay there. And then maybe you've got the freedom to lift that right arm up and float it up towards the sky. Beautiful, guys. And then square the right foot down, bring the hand back to the inside of the foot, walk the right foot in between the hands again. You're back in a runner's lunge. Stretch the right leg back. And we had Sun B interrupt us, so we're going to exhale and come all the way down. Inhale, press up. Come all the way down to your mat, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and press back and up into your down dog. Beautiful. Take a couple of breaths here. And we'll do that on the left side. So we started with warrior one. Press the right foot into the ground, lift the left leg up, bend the knee, swing the foot in between the hands, setting up for your warrior one. And if you did the other side before, don't worry about it, just switch sides. Beautiful. Lift that right foot up and out to the side, finding your warrior one footing. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. And then let's check our foundation. So hands come down to the hips. And again, my left hip is in front of my right because that leg is forward. So I need to pull the left hip back and the right hip forward. Breathe. And then inhale, stretch those arms up. And on the exhale, hands float down, take the opposite grip. Lift through the heart. Now think about your hips and your hip points. If these were headlights, we want them to stay pointing in the same direction regardless of the variation of humble warrior we take. So exhale, and you can bring your left shoulder to your left knee, or you can come to the inside of the left leg. Really squeeze those legs together. Weight should be evenly distributed, even though you feel front loaded. And then pull the arms up towards the sky. Couple of breaths. And then let the hands float down to the mat on the inside of your foot. Lift your gaze and shimmy the extended leg back behind you. Hang out here for a breath or two, checking in with those hip flexors. And then maybe that left foot walks off to give you a little more space. Maybe that right knee drops down to the ground, right foot goes flat. And again, if you'd like to take that twist, the right arm comes out a little wider on the mat. The left hand, good morning, Doug, comes to the inside of the left thigh. And as you stack those shoulders, you start to lift the gaze up to the side, come onto the knife edge of the foot. Breathe. You're welcome to stay down here or to tuck the back toes and come up, stretching through the leg. And if you'd like to stay there, fine. If you'd like to take the little back bend, lift that left arm up. Beautiful. Breath or two here. And then when you're ready, square those hips back towards the mat, plant the left foot, walk the hand in, sweep the left foot back by the right. If you'd like the vinyasa, go ahead and take it here. What did I forget? Oh, and then press back and find down dog. Take a couple of breaths. Now to finish off our Sun B variation, we have to come back to a chair pose. So when you're ready, look back to the front of your mat, bend your knees, and then make your way up to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Drop those hips, fingertips on the floor to keep you nice and low. And then inhale and lift the arms up, trying to keep that nice deep seat. Look down. Can you see your toes? If not, push your weight further back on your heels. And then inhale, stretch all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and shake it all out. Beautiful, nicely done. All right, now is where we want the chair, or the coffee table, or the sofa. Doesn't matter which. And you're gonna set this up, or you're gonna set yourself up in relationship to it, so that we're gonna start with the right leg. Place that right foot up on top of whatever surface you're using. We want it to be about as high as a folding chair. I love how many of you were able to just, boom, go grab a folding chair. And then check in to make certain that the right knee is right over the right ankle. So I need to back up a little bit so that I'm perpendicular here. And then I'm gonna stack the left hip right over the left ankle. Now inhale, sweep the eyes and the arms up. Exhale, draw your hands down to your heart center and then let them slide down the midline of the body. Begin to fold and drop your head down. Don't reach for the floor, just let gravity help pull you forward. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you're welcome to grab a block or something and place it under your hands. But otherwise, as you pull that right knee in towards the right shoulder, just let the head drop towards the floor. Let the hands drop. Breathe. As we stand here and this hip opens up, you should begin to feel the fingers moving closer and closer without you having to stretch and strain. It might be just a microcosm, or you might feel a big opening. One more breath in and out here. And when you are ready, first bring your hands to whatever your foot is resting on, and then letting the head be the last thing to come up. Lift through the chest, bring the hands to the right knee, and then finally lift up. Take the right leg off and shake it out. And then we're gonna switch our orientation so our left leg can come up and on. Could you guys get could you feel a deep stretch there? Good, okay, that's what we're looking for. All right, left foot comes up. Again, try to check in. It helps if you can see your picture there on the screen to make certain that your left knee is over your left ankle. And then lift up, pull in through the belly, raise the arms up, nice flat back, reach out over that left leg, and then draw the chest to the inside of the left thigh as you reach down, and let the heart just hang, reaching for the floor. I need to move my right foot further out to give my hips space. So don't feel like once you get down there, that's it. Play with your space, play with the hip. And as you breathe, as you exhale, pull the belly in, and as you inhale, release further towards the floor. Noticing any tension you're pulling in, any resistance you might be feeling. One more breath here. I'm getting a commentary from Kent. And then bring the hands to where that left foot is. Lift through the chest, keeping the head down and relaxed. Hands come up to the left knee. And then let the head rise last. And step off. And again, shake everything out. Move around a little bit on your mat. Beautiful. And go ahead and take that chair. If you need to remove it, out of the way. We'll come back to the mat. Find again your Tadasana position, your mountain pose. And when you're ready, bring your hands to your heart center, Samastitihi. Stand well on the right foot, lift up with the left foot, and step back, finding a lunge. Try not to bounce around like I just did. And then pivot the left foot down parallel to the back edge of the mat. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Bring the chest parallel to the long edge of your mat. Bring the hands down to the thighs and just gently encourage them away from each other, opening the hips up here. Notice as you do that, if your belly and your back want to bulge, pull them in. And then when you've got your stance set, keep the chest parallel to the long edge of the mat, float the arms out. Now look out over the front hand. Draw the arms and the shoulders back and in, feeling the shoulder blades come together, and then shrug up and down, up and down, letting the shoulders do the shrugging, up and down, giving yourself a little back rub in the middle of your back there. And then shrug all the way down, stretch through the arms, reaching for the long ends of your mat. Flip your palms skyward and go for a nice deep reverse warrior. Keep pressing that right hip forward as you press the arms back behind you. Now perhaps that left arm reaches around and finds the right hip. Dig deeply into that hip as you press further into that right knee. One more breath in and out here. And then inhale and straighten that front leg. Bring the arms back to warrior two arms. And as you lift through the heart, stretch the arms towards the front of the mat. Now focus on your left hip point. Press the left hip point behind you, tick-tocking the arms towards the floor. You might lobster claw your shin, you might lobster claw your ankle, or you might be able to bring your hand down to a block or your foot. Breath or two here in your triangle. If you're in your triangle, can you look up and find the left fingertips? And then bend into that front knee, come back to your warrior two. Left hand, left hip, right forearm, right thigh. Pull the right hip towards the left heel, lifting the left hip up. Stack the shoulders and take the left forearm out over the left ear. Nice big stretch. Take that right forearm off the right thigh, hold that beach ball. Bring the left arm back up, finding warrior two. Pivot the arms down to frame that front foot, finding your runner's lunge. Step back to plank. If you'd like the vinyasa, take it. Otherwise, meet us in down dog. And take a breath or two. It's a long time on one side. Good job. When you're ready, look forward, bending your knees. Behind the exhale, step or hop up to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep eyes and arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, what do you think? It's 50-50 if I can remember the entire sequence. All right, hands to heart center. Cam will correct me. Hands to heart center, stand on that left foot. Float the right leg up and then reach back behind you. This is stability, right? We need stability in the hips to find that lunge. Now we're opening the hips into a warrior two. Take those arms out. Check in with the chest. Check in with the thighs and the knees. If you need to, hands can come down and press those legs out, your choice. Draw the shoulders in and then play with shrugging. Up and down, up and down. And the next time your shoulders are all the way down on the back, stretch through those arms nice and long. Flip the front palm and go for reverse warrior. Nice big breath here in your reverse warrior. That right arm is going to reach around, find that left hip crease or the left thigh, and then press the left leg further down. Stretch the left arm further behind you. Inhale, take that left leg straight, reverse triangle. Bring the arms back to warrior two arms. Float the arms towards the front of your mat, and you'll notice your right hip presses out and away. Keep pushing that right hip out and away as you tick-tock the arms down towards the floor. Again, you might find that you just come to your shin. Just don't press down on the shin, lobster claw it, and try to use the core to hold you there. You might come down here, or you might come all the way down. Take a breath or two here. Maybe the neck rotates and you can look all the way up at the right fingers. One more breath. And then bend into that front knee, coming back to a warrior two. Left forearm, left thigh, right arm rotates out and over. Finding your Baddha Konasana, side angle stretch. Lift that left arm up off the leg, reach out, find that beach ball. Float the right arm up and over and come back to warrior two. And then windmill those arms down, frame that front foot. Step back. If you'd like the vinyasa, it's yours to take here. Otherwise, meet us in down dog. I have to take all the vinyasas because I'm supposed to be doing a push-up challenge and I keep forgetting my push-ups, so this helps. Couple of breaths. The end of your next breath, look forward, bending the knees, step or hop up to your forward fold. Inhale halfway when you arrive. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Let's make our way all the way down to a plank. Inhale all the way up. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, and step or hop out to your plank. Find your high plank, shoulders on the back, and then bring the right forearm down and the left forearm down, finding your forearm plank. Drop your knees, bring your hands to clasp, and press the hands down. Pull the elbows slightly to the inside of the shoulders. Tuck the toes. We're headed to dolphin pose. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and press the heart and the shoulders back. You can stay here, or you can start to walk the feet in, bringing the hips up over the shoulders. Just keep pressing the shoulders back. Find your variation of dolphin pose and take one more full in and out breath. And then stretch the legs further back. Bend the knees and press back to your variation of child's pose. That dolphin can be intense on both the legs and the shoulders. So give yourself a little chance to reset here. As you're ready, inhale, pressing back and up, coming to a kneeling position. Bring the hands back to your tabletop. Stretch your legs out, finding plank. Lift your right leg up and tap it out to the right side. Lift it back up and bring it to center. Lift the left leg up, tap it out to the left side. Bring it back to the center and bring it down. Now lift the right leg, bend the knee, and can you touch right knee, right elbow? Stretch back. Lift the left leg, bend the knee, and touch left knee, left elbow. Stretch it back. Drop the knees and press back to a kneeling. Beautiful. How'd we do on that? I don't very often make you guys do mountain climbers like that, do I? Maybe I need to do it more so you're ready for Susan and Ellie. All right, press back, finding your plank. Don't worry, transition pose. Lift that right knee up and place it to the outside of the right wrist. Take the right shin. It can be back behind the left hip or come to the knife edge of the foot and draw the shin forward. All right, I like it back. We're coming to pigeon. Helen's like, where are you headed? Tell me what I'm doing. All right, now notice the hips here in pigeon. Is your right hip closer to the mat than your left hip? Can you pull the left hip and the right hip so that they're both as far away from the mat as the other? Equidistant. Then think about pressing the sit bones back towards the left heel and lifting through the heart. You might even walk your hands back by your front knee and engage the Mula Bandha, the root chakra, and pull the legs energetically towards each other, lifting the arms up. Then let the hands float down and put your pigeon to sleep. So the arms stretch out. You can pillow your head or you can stretch them out long. Again, as you come to a resting pigeon, check in with those hips, making certain that they are equidistant from the ground. If they're not, feel free to place a prop under one hip or the other to give you that freedom. I love it. Meredith grabbed blocks for her arms. That's beautiful. Nice. One more breath here. And as you are ready, on an inhale, draw the hands back in underneath the shoulders, tuck the back toes, stretch that left leg, the back leg out long, if you're not opposite of me, drawing the knee up off the ground, and then pull up through the belly and lift back, finding your plank pose. One more time, bend the right knee and bring it up to tap the right elbow. Stretch back to your plank, bend the left knee, stretch it up to the left elbow, and then back to your plank. Take a moment and then head to pigeon on the other side, drawing the left knee up to the outside of the left wrist. Right shin can come underneath the right hip. And breathe. Stretch that right leg out long like we did in our lizard. Check in with those hips, squaring them to the mat. Press the sit bones long, bringing length into the spine. Lift the heart and begin to draw the hands back. Now, pull the thighs towards each other. You should feel your pelvis start to lift up and draw the arms up. And then exhale, draw the hands down and put your pigeon to sleep. Once you come down here to that resting pose, check in, are the hips even? We often, depending on our hips, want to roll off to one side or the other. So try to have those hips squared and breathe into this pose. Take 2 more full in and out breaths. And on your next inhale, start to walk the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting the heart, tucking that back toe, lifting the back knee up off the ground, pull from the pelvis to lift up and stretch the left leg back. Go ahead and shake those legs out a little bit here, and then exhale and press into a down dog. Beautiful. Just take 1 or 2 breaths here. You might find that you want to pedal out your legs after the pigeons and the lizards there. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and exhale, bend the knees, and come to a seated position on your mat. Make certain that you have your strap available as you come down to this seated position. And I would like you to make a little loop in your strap. John says, oh, it's never a good thing when she has us do a little loop in our strap. So you're going to take that loop and place it around the right ankle, and then just tighten it enough that it will hold the ankle where you want it to go. And I like to pull a picture out because I like to reverse this pose on accident, and that's not helpful for you. So stretch the left leg out long, and use the strap to lift the right foot up and over, finding the left side floor. Now again, for some of us, this pose, all the further we want to go is trying to stamp that right foot down and lift through the heart. So we don't even really need the strap. We can just use the knees and the elbows, the knees and the hands to pull up and get this. If you're okay here and you want to go a little bit deeper, then you're going to reach over to the left side and bend that left knee, bringing the left knee back by the right hip. And then again, center. That's fine, stay right there then. That's cool. Ken's like, I can't do that. So stay right there. Then we're gonna grab the tail of our strap and feed that around so that the right hand can feed it into the left hand. Can you see my left hand peeking out here? Palm is away from my body, holding the strap back here. This is why we did the shoulder openers, guys. Then I'm going to release the strap with my right hand. My left arm is bound, holding the strap back there. Now I'm going to reach that right arm up, and I'm going to come around my right knee, pulling the right knee further to the left. Grab the strap with the right hand. Both hands are holding the strap now. Then as you press on the strap, you can lift up through the heart and twist to the left. Don't worry, I'll walk you through that again on the other side. We can do this without the strap. I prefer it with the strap because it gives you a little back rub as you do it. And then come all the way back and through. Unwind those legs. Take the strap off your ankle and switch it to the other side. And again, you just want it tight enough that the strap doesn't float up and down the leg. So I like to pull it a little tighter to hold it. And then as I press out through the right leg, I'm going to lift the left leg up and over. Roll over to that right side and bend the right knee, bringing the foot in closer to the left hip. Bring the hands to the knees, and we're going to try to press both hips down. Now this side, my left hip does not want to reach down, so I'm going to sneak a blanket underneath there so that I can press the left hip into something. I'm going to grasp the strap with my right hand, and I'm going to feed it around my low back. Then I'm going to reach my right arm around, my left arm around, and pull that tight. Now I can bind, take that right arm out, around, palm of the hand facing away from my back, grab the strap and pull that strap nice and tight. So the right hand is pulling my strap around my back to the left. Got it? Left arm reaches for the sky, then forward, grab around the knee, that's a knee, and find the strap. Now, as you hold onto the strap with both the left and the right hands, Helen's like, I'm hopelessly lost. You can lift up and use the strap to twist. Find some opening here. And then relax, unwind. If you've got anything under a hip bone, press it away. Stretch those legs out. Take the strap off and shake it all out. Come down onto your back, all the way down, setting back up for a bridge pose. And we're going to check in and see how those hips feel. So bring the soles of the feet in closer than you normally would. Perhaps your hands can reach down by your sides and find those ankles. If you can, fantastic. If not, and you'd like to deepen your bridge, feel free to reach back out and grab your strap and place it around your shins. You don't have to do that, but you can. Can you reach it, Hunter? Do you need? All right. If you've got your strap, you're going to pull in with that strap as though you were just extending your arms so you could grab your shins. Then pull the knees close together. Now lift through the heart and draw your right shoulder blade, then your left shoulder blade underneath you. So you're kind of on the tops of your shoulders. And then as you inhale, press the feet into the floor, roll up onto the tops of the shoulders, pull that strap back and lift up into your bridge pose. Keep pressing both hip bones up towards the sky. Knees push out away from the hips. Heart lifts, neck is soft. One more breath here. And then gently, slowly release, coming down to the ground. Take the strap off if you used it. Slide it to the side, draw the knees in towards the chest, grasp the shins, and just rock easily side to side. Hold that right knee in close, stabilize your rocking, stretch the left leg out, and lay the left leg out long on the mat. Flex both feet, take the arms back out into a T or a cactus. Got to move some props here. And then as you exhale, take the right leg over to the left side body. You might draw that left arm up to the outside of the knee and stretch the right knee over towards the left side. As you relax into this stretch, the left foot will roll. That's okay. The hips will roll. Try to relax the right shoulder and the right ribs towards the floor. Breathe in and out. And as you're ready, on an inhale, come back up to center, draw the left knee back in by the right, grasp that left knee to hold it in tight, stretch through the right leg, nice little hip flexor stretch here, and then hold that left leg in using the leg muscles, let the arms stretch out, and roll the left leg off towards the right side body. Again, you might bring that right hand up on top of the left knee, and encourage the left knee closer to the right side floor. Then take your focus over to that left shoulder, draw the right shoulder up, left shoulder down, and breathe. And then inhale, coming back into center, drawing both those knees back in, grasp the shins, and with an inhale, lift the forehead up towards the knees, and on the exhale, lay everything out long on your mat. You can stretch like it's your first morning stretch here. And then as you exhale, release down into your favorite Shavasana pose. It can be your corpse pose. It might be a variation of one of the earlier poses we did. A reclined Baddha Konasana would be nice here. Whatever feels good. Let your breath begin to deepen again. Allow yourself to melt into your Shavasana pose. Enjoying just a few more moments. And then take a nice deep breath in. Drop your jaw and exhale fully. One more time, inhaling. Dropping that jaw and exhaling fully. Let the breath return to normal. Bring your awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Perhaps stretching as you did as we entered Shavasana, doing whatever motions help you to wake up and feel good here. As you're ready, drawing the knees in towards the chest and rocking to your preferred side. Allowing yourself to relax for one brief breath before you gently press up, finding a seated position. Hands at your heart center, eyes softly closed. Today we played with that concept of stabilizing, stretching, and strengthening the hips. Playing with the idea of ahimsa, not trying to force our body to do anything, but instead bringing movements in that we knew would nurture our body. And I invite you to practice that as you step off your mat into your day, as we move back into our life off of our mat, not trying to force anything, make anything the way it should be, but instead just doing those things that feel right, that resonate with you, and that nurture you, your body, and your mind. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.